All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, the playoffs in the National Football League are right around the corner. And at some point in this tournament, we still have some spots that are up for grabs. And with that said, there's definitely going to be some focus, in my opinion, on the quarterback position in the AFC. Now, the young guns at quarterback, if you will, have arrived in the AFC, and they will be household names for the next decade or so. Los Angeles Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert is in his third NFL season, and last night's win by the Lightning Bolts over the Indianapolis Colts means that Herbert is headed to the postseason for the first time in his brief career. Remember, Herbert was so close, had a win and in scenario last year in week number 18, but the Chargers fell short in overtime to the Las Vegas Raiders. And in doing so, it allowed the Pittsburgh Steelers and veteran quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, who was in his last season, to get into the postseason. Now, Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow was the first overall pick of the 2020 NFL draft. And after leading the Bengals to within inches of their first Super Bowl title this past January, Burrow is back in the postseason with an eye on consecutive AFC North titles. The Jacksonville Jaguars are surging, which has resulted in them catching the Tennessee Titans for first place in the AFC South. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence is in his second NFL season with the Jaguars, as he is showing the promise that made him the first overall pick of last year's draft. And with Lawrence at the helm, Jacksonville could be a very dangerous team next month if they get into the postseason. Now, we know that Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen of the Kansas City Chiefs and Buffalo Bills, respectively, are already household names, but they're also the elder statesmen of this group. And Mahomes is only 27, while Allen is 26. And these are guys that are consistently getting into the postseason, consistently MVP candidates. And of course, in the case of Mahomes, he does have a Super Bowl championship to his credit. Now, aside from all of that, we've basically seen Mahomes and Allen duke it out in the postseason a couple of times. Mahomes has gotten the best of Allen each time. But with Buffalo and Kansas City, they are typically atop the standings for the AFC. They're both battling year in and year out to get home field advantage in the AFC playoffs and, of course, to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. We also cannot forget about Lamar Jackson, who is currently injured. And, of course, the big question is going to be, will the 25-year-old, yes, Lamar Jackson is only 25 years of age. He'll be 26 next month. But will he be available for the Baltimore Ravens in the postseason? That is going to be a big thing to keep an eye on, because we know Lamar, who is a former MVP, is also one of the most electric playmakers in the NFL. Not to mention, you got the New England Patriots in eighth place right now, and they're right there on the heels of the Miami Dolphins, who have stumbled, and they themselves are in possession of the final wild card spot in the AFC. I say that because you think about that 2020 draft. Of course, Joe Burrow went first. You had Tua Tagovailoa, who is currently the starting quarterback for Miami. Yes, he's injured right now, and he's in the concussion protocol. We got to wait and see his availability for the rest of the year. But nonetheless, there's an opportunity for him to possibly get to the postseason for the first time. And then to his teammate from the University of Alabama, in one Mac Jones, who is currently in his second year with the New England Patriots. And of course, Jones did help the Pats make the playoffs last season as a wild card, and they're looking to get back there once again. This is the new guard of the AFC, and this is the way it's going to be for the coming years. You're going to see Josh Allen. You're going to see Mahomes. We know about them. Joe Burrow. We know Joe Burrow is the real deal. Trevor Lawrence. To me, Trevor Lawrence is one of those guys, and he proved it while he was playing collegiately at Clemson. The bigger the stage, the better that he plays. And that's why I feel that this Jacksonville team could be very dangerous should they get into the playoffs, because, of course, Jacksonville is going to get a home playoff game Duval County will come out and show love to this team. That place is going to be rocking. And again, Trevor Lawrence is one of those guys that when he's on the big stage, he does not disappoint. You think about Jacksonville. I talked about Cincinnati. This team is loaded once again. They've done a great job in putting a tremendous squad around Joe Burrow, a la his last season in college at LSU. Baltimore, if Lamar Jackson is back, this team could be dangerous. You think about the Chargers. This is Justin Herbert's first time on the postseason stage. What does he have in store? And then, of course, I'll say it like this: Miami, to me, is going to be the ultimate wild card if they get into the playoffs because I know Tua did not have a great game on Christmas Day against the Green Bay Packers at home. I totally get that. But I look at this Miami team. If they can get, the momentum going for themselves with the talent that they have at the wide receiver position and the ability that they have to rush the passer, they're going to be a dangerous team. So with that said, this is possibly if Tua is going to be the quarterback in Miami for years to come, this could be another formidable team on the AFC side as well. So there's plenty to look forward to. And at the end of the day, it's a new guard in the AFC, and the bulk of the young studs at the quarterback position in the NFL are currently in the AFC. And with that said, is the American Football Conference ready to get on a roll in regards to winning the Super Bowl, reminiscent of what we saw from the NFC when they won 13 straight Super Bowls from 1984 to 1996? Possibly, but honestly, at the end of the day, you can't really etch it in stone because there's a lot of things that you have to factor in. You think back to that era that I just mentioned from 84 to 96. The AFC had some studs who turned out to be Hall of Famers at quarterback, and they took it on the chin to the NFC teams. You think about Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins getting there and losing, Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills getting there 4 times and losing, John Elway counting for 3 of those losses, and then guys like Warren Moon who never even got a taste of the Super Bowl during that era. So it's not a guarantee per se, but I think the quarterback play and the quality of quarterback play in the AFC is going to be tremendous for the coming years. The AFC playoffs, and I've talked about this recently, they're going to be a war. It's going to be a bloodbath. And I think it's due to the quarterback play and also how some of these teams on that side are stacked. And with that said, with the ability of all of these quarterbacks that I mentioned, this is why it's going to be very difficult for one of these teams to go out there and consistently dominate because of the quarterback play, because you do have some legit playmakers who can get it done. Joe Burrow is a playmaker. Patrick Mahomes is a playmaker. Josh Allen is a playmaker. Trevor Lawrence is a playmaker. I could say the same thing about Justin Herbert. And when it's all said and done, that right there is going to make it difficult, in my opinion, for one team to dominate. And you think about the AFC side from 2001 to 2018, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Ben Roethlisberger combined to represent the AFC in 16 of those 18 Super Bowls over that stretch. The only others, it was Rich Gannon with the Oakland Raiders in 2002 and Joe Flacco with the Baltimore Ravens in 2012. Three guys has basically dominated this conference. Will that be the same for the coming years? I'm not sure, but we got to wait and see. All I know is this is going to make, of course, the networks very happy because people are going to want to see the battles between these quarterbacks, especially in the regular season, obviously, especially late in the season when playoff seeding and playoff spots are up for grabs. And then, of course, in the postseason. So, with that all said and done, I think the fans of football are definitely going to benefit. A lot of eyes are going to be on the AFC, well, the playoffs in general, but definitely on the AFC side, in my opinion. And it's going to be like this for the coming years. The quarterback position is the most popular position in the NFL. It's the most marketable position as well. And you have some guys, some young guys out there that can get it done. And they're going to be the face of the AFC for the coming years. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, Please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.